10 new coaches in Southwest Virginia. Tommy Crig back in the saddle again. And the Southwest Virginia push-up champion, coaching again at the Clift. Welcome to episode 5.1 After the Whistle, season number 5. Gentlemen, how is everybody doing?
We're great.
A little older, a little grayer, man.
I'm talking about the gray.
A lot more stress. I don't have any.
No pressure whatsoever.
No,
Twin Valley coming off the winningest season in school history.
We'll top that.
Yeah. Well, but you took the whistle, you hung it up, now you grabbed it again.
Boys, it's like us. I mean, we haven't even played a game, and we're in first place of the BDD.
They must have had a driver's ed job open over there.
BDD, baby. We're in first place.
That's true. Hurley with the loss, Honecker with the loss, and Grundy with the loss, sitting already week 1, and you got them right back on track.
On top.
What about that?
But I did have to mow the field the first day of practice.
That was controversial.
Is old Betsy still there? Old Betsy back?
No, Betsy ain't back.
All right, well, you're back over at the Clift.
I'm helping out, yeah.
Helping out a little bit over at the Clift, back his old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, I guess we'll jump in on this one right here. At least 9 or 10 new coaches in Southwest Virginia. We're going to run down the list real quick. Shout out to Todd Tiller, new head coach at Honecker High School. Darrell Taylor over at Lebanon. We've got Coach
Ginn
at Marion. And we've got Bubba Edwards at Castlewood. Over there, speaking of Castlewood, they have a new athletic director, and Patrick P. Wade over
the
there.
Wheel Wade.
They run the wheel. I'm sure they probably ran the wheel the
Yeah.
other night. Also Collier at Rye Cove. We've got Jason Mullins at Central, new head coach. Coach Stanley is now the head coach at Ridgeview, Dwayne. And we've got Tanner Hall at Tom Walker, and of course you are back at the Valley. So a lot of changes throughout Southwest Virginia in football. With that being said, week 1 is behind us. We're going to go straight to the scoreboard, take a look at some of these games, talk a little bit about it, hear some comments on it. First game on the docket here is Richlands, Gate City, Big Blue 27, Gate City 13. Dylan Brown set a school rushing record for Richlands, 353 yards on 29 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Guys, when I seen that, I got 2 text messages back to back within like 10 minutes. Dylan Brown, first time he touched it, 62 yards. Next text was Dylan Brown, 31 yards. Touched the ball twice, had almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he went on to have a great game like that. But I don't know where he got all his talent. I know he didn't get it from his grandfather, and I know he didn't get it from his daddy. So we're going to have to do some DNA testing over there to see where all that come from.
All right, we got to check some things out. Gate City, though, give him credit. They did a little bit better job containing him in the second half. He had a little over 200 yards rushing in the first half.
I thought that surprised me. I thought Gate City was going to pull the upset at Legion. I thought they might have pulled it up, but.
Well, Richlands, I think, up 27-0.
Well, they jumped out quick. Richlands did, and like you said, Gate City battled back and made it pretty close. I mean, Richlands could have went away with it. You know how it goes, getting down 14-0.
Oh yeah. Well, Jude Crawford, Ethan Fleming led Gate City on the ground in a comeback that ended up a little bit short. Big Blue, Big R, starting out 1-0. All right. Next, we had John Battle. This is Mountain 7 competition. Abingdon 47, Battle 6.
I heard Battle was improved, but
well, I mean,
you can't really tell here. But
well, Abingdon is much older. From what I gather, Battle is a pretty young team.
Yeah.
But Abingdon did what they wanted, 297 yards on the ground, and it probably could have done worse.
I'd say they run behind 55 on that.
Battle, yeah, probably did. Battle has now lost 13 straight, and we'll come back to that, but that is now the longest losing streak in Southwest Virginia, thanks to a team that got a win this past Friday night, and we'll talk about that one in a second. Come back to it. Big one in the Southwest District, first game of the season, and it's a district competition. Tazewell 46, Virginia High 21.
Kind of surprising when I seen the score. I mean, Patterson, he usually has his bunch ready to play. Not saying he didn't, but I don't know if they're rebuilding. Don't know much about Virginia High this year, but that's a big win for Tazewell there.
Yeah, Jamie Harris.
Who?
Coach Harris at Tazewell.
No. You know the one you talk smack about all the time at Taz?
Nah. Cassius Harris lit it up again. I think he had 4 touchdowns. By the way, that kid's already committed to Richmond, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Tazewell went up 21-7. Well, Virginia High cut it 21-7. Had a little bit of momentum, and then like 15 or 20 seconds later, Tazewell was in the end zone again.
They have a lot of athletes, man. They spread the ball around, and I know when we played them last couple of years in Central that, you know, that Harris kid, he was hard to contain. They got a number of athletes, and, you know, they can get the ball to.
Well, Bulldogs improved to 1-0, and Virginia High 0-1 after a red-hot start last year. All right, big Coal Bowl game, Lebanon 19, Homeacre 13. Two coaches, not necessarily their debut, but their head coaching debut for this go-around for Darrell Taylor. Gets the win for Lebanon, 19-13. Todd Tiller picks up the loss in his first outing as a Tiger head coach. What about that?
I thought that was a good one, man. I thought it was 2 well-coached teams. And Lebanon may be one of the most improved teams in the area.
Maybe because of the quarterback. They got a freshman quarterback that's pretty dang
good. They got
the Reese kid.
The Reese kid and Toby Baker. Both of them are freshmen, and they did the workhorse load of the yardage for him the other night. That's a good sign for the future for Lebanon.
And you know, Homeacre was throwing the ball around at first, went up 13-0, and I was like, uh-oh, this could be a rout. And then give Lebanon credit; those young guys hung in there and fought back.
Well, Lebanon cut it to 13-12 at halftime. Got back in it, got a little bit of momentum, and right at the end of the third quarter, they scored a touchdown. Well, they got an interception and scored a touchdown, and then Homeacre had a little rally going, and then Lebanon picked off another pass and sealed the deal. So Lebanon improves to 1-0, and that's the battle of the Coal Bowl. That was a big one. Also up next we've got Castlewood. Bubba Edwards with a big win there for the Blue Devils, and Castlewood defeated North Green 49-20. So the Mustard Biscuit Brigade is back in business again over there.
Throwing that deal around.
Yeah, 465 yards of total offense. Austin Kaiser had 4 touchdowns for the Blue Devils. Big win for them to get the season started out there. And this is what they're calling Bubba Ball over there. So they're going to sling that rock. Got that peel flying all over the field there evidently. So last year Castlewood lost this game. I think it was 22-6. So a little bit of a rebound there for them.
Well, and he plays his old buddy Todd this weekend.
I thought in the scrimmage, I thought Castlewood got after it, man. I thought they looked scrappy, physical. I mean, their numbers wasn't great, but I thought they looked pretty good. I mean, considering.
Good to hear, especially with numbers being low, you know, and then have a little bit of a rebound season like that, hopefully for them. Here's the game we were talking about. Rye Cove was that team that had lost 13 straight, and of course we know they didn't finish the season last year. But they've got good numbers this year, and Rye Cove with a come-from-behind win over against the Hurley Rebels, 26-24. 10-yard touchdown run with about 2 minutes to go gave them the lead for good. Tell us a little bit about it. I think you was over there.
Yeah, well, man, first of all, hats off to Rye Cove, much improved football team, very well coached. I will have to say they got different energy over there right now. And as far as the ball game, man, it was a dogfight from the jump to the finish. You know, we started slow, 6-0 at halftime. Come out at halftime, got on the board, went up 16-6. They clawed right back, got it within 16-14. A couple turnovers here and there, man. It's kind of, you know, who's going to get that extra turnover. And I think they got it, but hats off to them, man. It was a good football game, and Rye Cove is definitely better. And, you know, you got B.I. Salyers over there, been in the game a long time defensively. He had them lined up right. He had them playing right. Coach Collier, offensive, he has them going too. So like I said, it's a pretty young squad, man, and I think they got a lot of confidence right now.
We know the last time Rye Cove had a win was that wild game against Twin Valley back in 2019 when both teams were scoring at will The final score was up in the 50s.
Yeah.
It was a really good game, exciting.
Well, I think was the Hurley game their last game last year. Didn't they fold after that?
I think it was, yeah.
Yep, because I think Hurley got them at the Cliff last year, and they folded. Add the T to it.
You got to add the T to it. All right. So Rye Cove back in the win column there. Y Central, one of your old stomping grounds there for a little while, defeated Eastside 41-7. Nate West pretty much had the best defensive performance in all of Southwest Virginia. Had 2 picks for 2 pick sixes actually. And they just laid it on Eastside.
Nate, he's a little scrappy kid, man. He'll get after it. And I think Coach Mullins in the article said it best, that he weighed 120 pounds with his shoes on. So
about like you in
that's a fact.
Like I said, he's a little scrappy guy, so he gets after it. And congrats to Coach Mullins on his first win after taking back over.
All right, Eastside, had 71 rushing yards from Dayton Stanley, so they got a little bit of action going there. Eli McCoy scored the only touchdown for the Spartans, so they start the season out 0-1. But congratulations to Y Central and Coach Mullins on getting his first win over there. Next big one, they also got another new coach here picking up a win. I wouldn't say he's a new coach, but he's new to Marion. Coach Ginn, 29-0 over Chilhowie. Marion rolls, and that was a big win. I remember that, when I was over there, it was always a big rival game, the first game of the season, Marion Chilhowie. Kind of gives you county bragging rights. And this time,
I know one thing, Coach Ginn, he can spot talent. I know that. I mean, he knows the players and this and that. Because back in 1994 or 5, he come to Grundy to watch a football game.
Yeah.
And says,
Watch the gun show.
Say, Mr. Krieger, we'd like for you to come to Emory. So I know he can judge that talent very well.
Excellent.
Did he wish that 4 years later?
They did at least one time, I know. One time.
As usual, this game was tight early on, 6-0 at the half, and then for the most part, Marion just blew it open. They had about 277 yards of offense. So Marion picks up first win of the season. Chilhowie falls to 0-1. Next team that's continuing to roll and look good, Twin Springs 28, Northwood 8. Twin Springs got touchdowns, passing, running. They got them on the defensive side. Special teams scored. It was just an all-around team effort for them. What do you think about Twin Springs this year?
Man, I seen them on film. Watched the Rocco film. I think they look pretty good. I think they're going to be back in it and put Cumberland,
I think they'll be at the top of the Cumberland. I mean, have either win it or have a chance to win it along with a couple more.
They look scrappy. They do.
Well, the Kilgore kid, I don't know if he's in relation to the Kilgores politically or not, but Kilgore kid had a really good night, had a couple touchdowns. I think he took a fumble to the house and so forth. Northwood managed to get one touchdown from the Williams kid there at the end of the game. Northwood numbers up this year, though, from what I'm hearing, so expecting some pretty good things out of them. Coach, is it Johnson, is it? Tim? Who's coach?
No, I don't think I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm new. I just got back.
You just got back. All right. Another games, Rural Retreat 27, Fort Chisholm 9.
Jamie Hughes, baby, big win.
Gatlin Height had 119 yards rushing. Eli Blevins, 108 yards. Rural Retreat pretty much got a big win over Fort there. I think this is one of the teams to watch right here. I think Rural Retreat could be a surprise team here.
I do too.
This year coming up. Fort has also lost 13 consecutive games, so they're kind of tied there right now for that.
Tommy Gunn says Rural Retreat will be at the top.
I believe. I do.
All right. Up next, we got Ridgeview 42, Burton 8. Seems like Burton can't get back on track. It's been kind of
it's pretty tough when you play a team like that.
Down numbers. Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Right out of the gate, it's probably not the kind of team you want to play if you're Burton. And there was a lightning delay, heavy fog. It didn't matter.
I mean, the only other game that would have probably
been. Gordon was glad they called it.
But the only other game that they could have played first, where it would have been probably just like this, would have been Union, and you don't want to play Union first. So
that's true. I detect a rib or somewhere. The Oakland kid had a really good performance. Ridgeview, I mean, they came out of the gate and scored like 35 points first quarter. The ball game was pretty much over after that. Burton had only 17 yards total offense. So, you know, they had one long touchdown pass. That was about it for them. So this Dwayne Stanley, after all these years of coaching, picks up
1-0.
1-0 as a head coach. All right.
That'd be a pretty good squad to have a first year under, doesn't it?
That's a fact.
I would say it would be, yeah. Next, we got Union 48, Lehigh 7. About what we expected. I kind of expected maybe a little bit more from Lehigh. I thought Lehigh would put up maybe a few more points. Nonetheless, Honeycutt kid had 260 yards on 17 carries and 3 touchdowns. So.
The big thing here with Lehigh, I think they're a little young. They got a quarterback, a Pendergraft kid. I think his uncle Jeremy played quarterback back when I played. He's got some good genetics there, and I think he's going to be real good. I think he actually threw a 70-yard touchdown or 50-yard touchdown against them. That's how they scored.
Well, they scored first. They actually had Union down 7-0.
Yeah, but I think it was a big pass by him, and I think the kid works hard. I think he's going to be a pretty special kid. I mean, I do believe that they'll get on board. But I mean, you're playing a tough district there.
Very tough district. You know, I thought they really improved big time last year. Lehigh.
Absolutely, they did.
Imagine this. I want to guess how many passes that Union threw.
How many?
2.
They was double tight T all night.
Yeah,
they usually go spread some. They spread double tight.
But I got to give. I mean, you know, y'all know about me and Union. That I'm not a big Union fan. I mean, I just
didn't know.
But
that.
you know, they're kindly getting me. They got a freshman starting for them this year, named Cam Bostic. And, you know, it's hard to brag on him because, I mean, I know you can't pick who your mommy and daddy is, but, I mean, I'm going to have to brag on him, but that's another thing. We're going to have to run another DNA test over at Union just to see.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, he's a freshman, pretty athletic. He's going to be a good player, but you just can't help who your daddy is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all you can say.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so Union and no word on the backpack or anything, or the fanny pack or anything.
Do they still do that?
I'm sure they do.
And there's nothing in the backpack. It's just all for show. It's like a kid that wants to take their arms and stuff up all game.
That's pretty good. All right, Holston 21, Eastmont 0. The bots, I'm just going to call them the robots. I don't know what else to call them. The Bot brothers dominated the game for the Cavaliers.
Athletes.
Yeah, and so they're back in the win column. And guys, hey, they won region last year, so don't count them out yet. All right, and this is another game that had some rain delays. Another action, the Graham G men. Remember them? Yeah, we finally got around to that. Graham defeated Bluefield 29-25. Meta's kid had a great game, and so did Clement's kid for Graham.
I bet the Patron was popped after that game.
Well, you're looking at, I mean, it don't get much bigger than that game.
No, and you know, I seen a picture of the game. They wasn't a lot of fans there.
Oh, really?
No, they wasn't many.
There's all Montcalm with me.
No. Yeah, I'm Phil.
Do you think Graham's we're going to see more of what we've been seeing the last couple of years from Graham, or?
Well, they got on there and started talking about how they beat Bluefield and stuff, and then somebody opened it up on Facebook and put on there talking about that 1995 Graham football team when they beat Bluefield. And, you know, somebody chimed in there and says, well, I think Graham only lost one game that year, didn't they?
I wonder who they lost to.
I think somebody said Grundy. Yeah, they talked about how good they were, and we didn't have no problem with it. No.
That's interesting.
So did you play against the Patron?
No, he was older, but we played against
you got him,
Easley, Byard, Milton Byard.
When Patron played, they wore the leather helmet.
Yeah, when Patron played, they wore leather. But again, boys, Graham's going to be there at the end. You're going to have to beat them. They will be in the region finals.
I'll go with that.
I'd say you might see a repeat of the region championship with Ridgeview and Graham again.
Could very well do.
Could be.
All right, moving on real quick here. Cumberland Gap 50, Tom Walker 36. Tom Walker not starting the season out as the best, that they wanted. Tanner Hall gets a L there, but it was a high scoring affair, so at least they were putting some points on the board. And then I think that's all we've got, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, the Grundy PH
game. The big 1A game of the year, right off the bat.
Grundy PH.
Top teams in the region. And some people has Grundy, Royal Retreat, and Patrick Henry as 1, 2, 3.
My first observation, I'm sitting there and I'm keeping up with the score, and I'm not knocking PH, but I'm sitting there saying, what are they doing? How are they beating Grundy?
Yeah.
McPhail had a good game.
They just couldn't tackle him.
I tell you, PH is good up front. They got some good kids. We scrimmaged them, and they're pretty good up front.
My brother and dad, they went and done it on radio and said Grundy went straight down the field, run a nice little play, scored a touchdown, went up 6-0, and then McPhail they had trouble tackling him.
Well, just a little off tackle stuff, just right to the left.
Then I think the little quarterback threw the ball well.
Well, Grundy made it interesting at the end.
Jonah Looney run a pump block back for a touchdown, and he also caught a Hail Mary right before half.
But if we were taking, if I was placing a bet on that game at the beginning of the year, I'd been all in on Grundy. That was kind of a shocker. And as I'm looking at the schedule now, and we've discussed this, Grundy's in a tough spot right now, schedule-wise. They needed that win.
But just. This is not, like you said, a knock on PH. I watched Grundy and Richlands, man. I was really impressed with Grundy when they played Richlands, and
they got 12 seniors or something like that.
I thought they would get PH. It didn't. I thought it'd be close, but I thought they would get them.
But like you said, the game was a big game because now Grundy is hosting Ridgeview. Yeah. And how tough's that going to be?
Right. It's what I'm saying. They're behind 8 ball
now. That's probably the
really
toughest game in to beat. That's the toughest team right now in Southwest Virginia.
To beat.
Yeah, to beat. Besides Graham and Ridgeview.
The only one that can beat them right now is Patron.
Kind of I ain't gonna say an upset, but it's kind of a little bit of a mild upset, I guess, with PH. PH continuing right where they left off last year, and we'll have to wait and see, with Grundy, what the deal is. All right, well, that's our recap for this week. Up next, we've got our Peak Performer of the Week, brought to you by True Point Bank. Stop by and check out one of the many branches of True Point Bank throughout Southwest Virginia for all your banking and loan needs. All right, True Point Bank's Peak Performer of the Week is Mr. Dylan Brown from Richlands High School. Dylan had 381 yards rushing on 29 carries and 3 touchdowns this week, as Big Blue picked up a win there against Gate City, 27-13.
So, like I said, it'd be a DNA test here because we know that he can't get it from his papa and his daddy.
He's had to work for it, didn't he?
That's a fact. And speaking of that, he is a hard worker. I do know that. Very good kid, too.
Congratulations, then.
Hi, I'm Melinda Krieger with True Point Bank. Cheering on local teams is a community tradition at True Point Bank. We are a local bank supporting our local schools, charities, and people. If you aren't banking locally, it's time to make the switch. Stop by one of our offices or visit us online at truepointbank.com. This football season, have pride in our local teams and bank local with True Point Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, folks, welcome back. Each week at this time, this is what the show's all about. We host this show and have been for 5 years here at Bellacino's in Grundy, Virginia. Get all your pizzas and grinders and some of the best salads that you can find anywhere. courtesy of Bellacino's here in Grundy, Virginia. Stop by and check it out, especially if you're going to do some tailgating or anything
By
like that.
the way, if you got a complaint, just tell us, man. Just, hey, we'll give you money back, or don't blast us on Facebook, man. Come on.
Good people over here at
That's the
Bellacino.
way of the world these days, boys, and people get on there and try to ruin somebody trying to make a living.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Go to the polls is what I
There
say.
you go. Vote him out.
I'm not telling you who to vote for, but go to the polls.
Yeah, we're going to vote him out. All right, anyhow, thanks to Bellacino's for doing that. This week's Bellacino's Player of the Week is from Hurley, Virginia. The Hurley Rebels, Mr. Alex Duty. Alex had 15 carries, 128 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. Rebels came up short against Rye Cove, 26-24. Let's take a look at.
Hey guys, I'm here with our Bellacino's Player of the Week, Mr. Alex Duty from Hurley High School. He had a big game at Rye Cove this week. Had 128 yards on 15 carries and 1 touchdown. Come up a little short on the scoreboard, but it was a great effort by him. And congratulations, Alex, on your Player of the Week. And just tell us a little bit about the game, man, and what we got to do to get better.
Well, we come out flat the first half of the game, and we got a good pep talk at halftime, and we came back out second half, and the linemen was opening up gaps, blocked good, backs blocked good, and we ran hard.
Yeah, and we just, like I said, we had a great effort in the second half, just came up a little short, but compliments to Rye Cove, a much improved team, and what we got to do just to get back next week.
We just got to be better every week, want to know every week. We got to keep pushing, and we got to get better as the season goes. We're still getting there.
Absolutely. All right, man, here you hear it from our Player of the Week, Mr. Alex Duty from Hurley High School. Thank you.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. It's that time this week at everybody always waits for Stump the Crig. And this week, this season, we're going to try to stump the Crig once again. 4 years in a row, he is 4-0 4 straight seasons. Think he can pull it off one more season?
I don't feel good.
Don't feel good. It could be the day. Starting off season 5 with a big L here.
My neck's hurting. Just having struggle pain.
All right. Well,
He directed it long.
here's the envelope. We have an envelope here, and inside this hermetically sealed envelope, which has been kept in a bank vault under armed security for over a year at True Point Bank, as a matter of fact. Kept there for over a year. He was recently delivered by an armored truck.
Carry it off. That's
And it
safe
was,
up there.
it was delivered by an armored truck and armed security. I have not seen the contents of this. Have you seen the contents?
I have not.
All right. Well, here it is. You are going to tell me the answer to the question that is inside this envelope. And you need to do your little thing there or whatever.
Let me have it, because I don't know if it'll work, because I don't feel good. All right.
What's the answer?
The answer is Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. May I have the envelope, please? Niagara Falls. And the question is, if Viagra rises, what does Niagara do?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
That was easy.
All right, we got one more here for you. We failed on the first one. Pistol, what do you think? We get him a second time? We'll find out right here. Here you go. Do you need to, or can you detect it all the way from over there?
I got it.
Okay, what's the answer?
Long, hard, and wet.
I don't know if I should read this one or not.
That's just what I'm feeling, yeah.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Somebody's had a bad day tonight.
Let's hear that answer one more time.
Long, hard, and wet.
If this show gets suspended or we get canceled or deplatformed on YouTube, it's because of this answer. Well, let's see what it is. The Titanic's first voyage. Long, hard, and wet.
You're welcome.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
You're welcome.
Once again, folks, we have failed to stump the Crig, as we have always. But maybe next week we'll tune in. If you've got an answer or something that you would like to submit to us that we can try to throw at him there, please feel free to do so. Let us know on our Facebook page at After the Whistle. Okay. All right, up next here on the show, we've got our Wooden Horse Grill Top 5. We're going to start straight out with 1A, fellas.
I'll go first.
1A, Coach Krieger, we're going to let you start first. Who are your
All right,
1A top 5?
My 1A top 5 is Patrick Henry at the top because the preseason number 1 was Grundy, and they knocked Grundy off. Number 2, I'm going with Jamie Hughes, my old buddy at Royal Retreat. I still think, like I told Coach Tester, I think they're going to be there. I really do. I just got to see a little more to put them up there. I'm just going to put the pressure on PH first. 1, Royal Retreat 2. I got Thomas Walker, number 3. All right, I've got Lebanon, number 4. Good quarterback down there, beating Honaker, which, I mean, I think Honaker are not giving no excuses. I think the Lowe kid was a little banged up with an ankle, but Lebanon won, give them their due. I got them at 4. And then I got the Grundy Golden Wave at 5, which Grundy could easily be at the region championship still after losing that first game. But it's tougher now than it was.
All right, I'll go over my 1A top 5 real quick. Number 5, I've got Grundy coming in at number 5, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that they lost last week. Number 4, I have Lebanon sitting there at 4. Number 3, I've got Twin Springs, and the verdict's still out on them, but I'm thinking that's a team that's going to move up. PH at number 2, and my number 1 team in 1A right now is Rural Retreat.
Right, you can't even get their coach's name right.
I just had to change it hard at the top.
Oh,
flip it.
Oh,
so, all right, number 5. I am starting out with. I was getting ready to say Doug Hubbard's Honaker Tiger. Todd Tiller's Honaker Tigers.
Years of tradition.
I still think Todd's going to be in the mix in the end. I think he's going to be right in there, so I'm going to go with Honaker at number 5. At number 4, I'm going with the most improved team I have seen so far, which is the Lebanon Pioneers. Good quarterback in Reese, which actually went to school, played ball with his daddy Chris at UVA Wise for a little while. So,
it makes a difference. Very good player.
So, my number 3 team is still, right now, is Grundy Golden Wave. At first I had them at number 1, but I think they fell back to 3 this week. Number 2, played with this a little bit in my head. I first went with Royal Retreat at number 1, but I'm going to flip that. I'm going to go with Royal Retreat at number 2, and Seth Pageant's PH Rebels at number 1.
All right, interesting. Now, so we got Royal Retreat and PH 1 and 2, all 3 of us do right now. All right. Okay, let's take a look at our 2A top 5. You want to go first?
No, I'm going last.
This was mine, right? Number 1, no, that's not mine, it's yours.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 1, number 5. I got Big R coming in at number 5, Richlands Blue Tornado. Number 4, the Union Bears. Number 3, I've got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. Surprise, I got number 2, I've got the Tazewell Bulldogs. I'm giving them some love for at least a week or 2 here, see what happens.
No, you ain't putting them in front of Ridgeview.
I did just for this upcoming game. They got a big game coming up. So I thought it would be nice if I had 1 and 2 placed in here. That's basically what I'm doing. Number 1, I got the Graham G-Men, so my 1 and 2 are playing Friday night.
Who's Tazewell and Graham?
Tazewell and Graham. You figured that out all by yourself, did you? All right, so that's what I got. Go for it.
Is it me? All right, number 5, I got the Big R, the Richlands Blue Tornadoes, after their big win over Gate City this week. I actually thought that'd be an upset at Legion Field. Gate City got some numbers out, but they have improved. So I'm still going with Richlands at number 5. Number 4, I'm going with the Bulldogs of Tazewell. Like I said, I think they got a lot of talent. Got a lot of speed. So I think if they can get going, they're going to win some games. And the number 3 team is the Union Bears at number 3. Always going to be at the top of the Mountain 7. Number 2 is the my bad. I'm sorry, Tony. Number 2 is the Ridgeview Wolfpack. And number 1, to be the man, you got to beat the man. It's Patron Palmer and the Graham G-Men.
All right, my turn. All right, number 5, I'm putting the Y Central Warriors in there. I mean, coming off a win, we give them a shot. They was in there all year last year. We're just going to give them a chance there at number 5. Then number 4, I've got the Tazewell puppies. Probably won't last long, but I got the Tazewell puppies in there. Number 3, I got the Ridgeview Wolf Pack. And number 2, I've got the Big R.
Oh, Lord, he's back on it.
The Big R, baby. Just because Mance is over at L'Aurora's and he's 2-0. That's rubbing off on the Big R.
Okay.
So I got the Big R. I got the Big R at number 2, and number 1, boys, are they any doubt? The Tony Palmer Patrons. And that's what we got.
Boys, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, there's nobody in the region going to come close to Graham and Ridgeview.
So that was my top 5.
Wait a minute. All right, so all 3 of us, we got Graham across the board at 1. Pretty.
Yeah. All got Tazewell.
Except you put Wise. You don't. Where's Union?
I can't Clubbians got Richlands, and I got Union at 3.
He didn't even put Union in.
Union's not even in the top 5s.
Why would you put Union in the top 5?
Well,
Lord have mercy. Boys, they got a lot to prove.
To who? To you.
Somebody.
I think
Either show us.
Ridgeview Union game's going to be a good big game.
Either show us what's in the backpacks and I'll put you in the top 5, or you're staying out.
That's him James.
I like
That's
it.
him James Colley plays in that backpack.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea there. Show them what's in the backpack. Krieger put you in.
I will put them in the top 5 when Cam Bostic catches a touchdown pass.
Well, if he runs it.
Or runs it.
There we go.
Okay.
If when Cam Bostic scores a touchdown, I'll put Union in the top 5. Or they show what's in their backpacks.
All right. That sounds like a winner to me. That's pretty good. It's like a hostage situation, similar to the one we had before the season started.
I know.
Speaking of a hostage situation, I don't know how many of y'all are aware of this, but Coach Krieger was held hostage for over 24 hours a couple weeks ago. And we did document this on our Facebook page and so forth. We just want to encourage everybody to go out there. We can't say a lot about it right now. The authorities have got us tight-lipped on it, but we need subscribers. We need subscribers on our YouTube page.
Are they going to come back after me?
Yeah, they're going to come back, and next thing you know, we're going to be another hostage situation on our hands. So here's what to do. Go to our Facebook page, hit the subscribe button, and hit that little bell there. We're trying to get this thing up to 1,000, and we're basically being held hostage and threatened if we don't do it. What
and
could
considering
happen.
I'm the big part of the show, they're coming after me.
Yeah, they're coming after him. So do that. And what you do is, guys, if you're a coach or a teacher, take your class down to the computer lab, have them all go to YouTube, log in on their email, and go to the After the Whistle page and subscribe. We can get 20 and 30 of them done a period that way. Got it?
Absolutely.
Because we got to have these subscribers so we can get good Wi-Fi here at Bellacino's.
Yes, correct. All right, here's we're coming up now on our last segment of the show today, and this is our Pigskin Prognostications brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital, located in Grundy, Virginia. Fellas, let's get straight to it across the board here. We're going to start with Coach Krieger. Marion at Wise Central.
Boys, I know I got Wise at number 5, but I'm going with the Emory guy, Coach Guillen, to be 2-0 after Friday.
Okay, Tester.
I'm going to roll with the Warriors.
Central
Warriors.
I'm going to go with Coach Krieger here. I'm going to say Marion starts the season out 2-0, and it's off to a good start. All right, next on the agenda, we've got John Battle at Virginia High. I'll start this one out. I think Virginia High gets back in the win column here. Battle's just going to be a little bit too young and too outmanned.
All right, I'm going Virginia High. Too much speed.
Virginia High and Coach Tester.
Virginia High.
Virginia High. So it's a consensus, folks. Virginia High. This is a lock. Virginia High will win this ball game based on the expert counsel that we have here this evening. Lee at Eastside. This could be a good one.
You know what?
You get the first pick.
Well,
I'll
I'll pick
go with Mike Rhodes and the Eastside Spartans to pull this off. It's going to be at Eastside. I think they've improved a little.
Okay.
Now, they lost some.
I'm going with the Lehigh Generals on the arm of Pendergraft. I think this will be a big game for him.
I have a tendency to agree with you on this. I think Lehigh, where they was at last year, and I think we're going to see an improvement this season.
Let me down, Rose.
Improvement, so I'm going to go with Lee as well.
Come on, Pendergraft. Don't let me down, baby. Get that arm going.
Spit on that one. Ridgeview at Grundy. Only thing Grundy's got going for him in this game, I think, is the fact they're playing at home. Ridgeview, I think, has got too many weapons.
I was just about to say, the only thing Grundy's got going is a restaurant out of Bellacino.
That's what I thought you was going. Shameless plug right there.
All right, Coach Stanley, you need to stop by and feed your team over here at Bellacino's.
I'm going to go with Ridgeview. I just think they've got too many weapons. I think Grundy's going to be game physically and everything.
Here's the thing, man.
They're just going to throw the football.
Grundy has got to establish Scammell and get him rolling to keep that clock ticking and to keep Ridgeview off the field, because that quarterback in Ridgeview is going to score a lot of points.
Okay, here's my, and I agree 100% with what you're saying. Here's my criticism, and another reason that I think that Grundy's going to have a difficult time. I watched some clips, and I think Grundy was very suspect in the passing game. A lot of blown coverages and things of that nature, and you can't do that against a team like that.
You don't want to be suspect in the passing game.
No, you got to try to guard Beavers, Hill, and all them.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's Hill,
this
right?
is probably the best quarterback and the best receiving core in Southwest Virginia.
And I don't think that you can. I don't think if you're Grundy, you can overcome what happened last week in that short period of time.
And boys, even if you got good coverage,
Yeah, right.
you're still with disadvantage.
So who you guys got?
I got Ridgeview.
All right, Ridgeview across the board. So
like I said, the only team's going to beat Ridgeview.
Ridgeview, yeah.
The only team's going to beat Ridgeview is Patron.
Okay, so across the board, we got Ridgeview, folks. That's a lock. You got Ridgeview, expert council agrees, 3 of us. When all 3 of us agree, we're never wrong. Okay. Union at Richlands. Crig, it's your turn to go first.
Gosh. Neck's hurting.
This is tough, ain't it?
He wrecked that.
You want me to help you out by picking mine?
I was mowing the field.
Wrecked that John Deere.
Hurt my shoulder. Yeah, I got boys. As much as I hate to do it, and after I put the pressure on them, I think Cam Bostic scored his first touchdown Friday, and they squeak out, barely beat the Big R.
Well, they had a few great games there the last several years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'd like to see what Mance does before I make his game. Richlands is going on, man.
That's right.
Anyway, I still, they don't got enough, in my opinion, to beat the Union Bears. I think Union goes to, what's that stadium called?
Ralph Cummins.
We're talking about Richlands?
Yeah.
Ralph Cummins.
Good God, Mike. Ernie Hicks.
Ernie Hicks. I think Union goes to Ernie Hicks and comes out with a W.
Who's Ralph Cummins?
All right, folks.
Clintwood.
Ralph Cummins, Clintwood. Straight across the board, folks. Union. Expert council says Union will win this game. Take it to the bank. All right, next we got Graham at Tazewell. This is why I got that 1-2 thing going on there. What do you think?
Graham, easy.
You got Graham. I think Tazewell's got one thing going for him.
I think Tazewell's. I think they're good.
I do too. I just don't think
Graham by 30.
You got Graham?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put some pressure on
Yeah, you are.
Graham.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had you going there, didn't I?
No.
All right, Graham, I think pulls it out. But I tell you what, but I'd be worried about them kids in the open space.
Why are we talking about that?
All right, up next we got Homeacre at Castlewood. Mustard Biscuit Brigade hosting the Tigers. What you got?
Well, Homeacre's going to be without one of their best players because he got ejected last week.
All right.
So I'm going with Homeacre.
I'm going to go.
Aiden Lowe too much for him, boys, if he's healthy.
I think Castlewood's going to be much improved, but I think they don't have enough right now for Coach Tiller and Homeacre. I still think Coach Tiller pull this off, so I'm going to go with Homeacre.
Okay, and I'm going to take Homeacre as well, but I tell you, I think Bubba Ball could really create some
Well,
problems.
there's one issue I got with Bubba.
What's that?
One of the years in college, man, I broke a run off the last game, or maybe I can't remember what game it was. End of the season, maybe the next game. It was going over 1,000 yards. Holding. Hey, Greg, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Next game, holding. So anyway, but I forget him. So I'm still going with Todd Tiller.
All right, across the board, folks. That's all three of us again. That's a guaranteed lock. Honecker, Pete Castlewood. All right, up next we got Tom Walker at Hurley. This ought to be a good one.
I'm going with the Rebels. They're coming back, and it's going to be huge. Rebels ball control.
I think
beats Thomas Walker.
I think the trip and home field advantage. The Rebels playing a decent game last week. Putting up some points. I'm going to, of course, now Tom Walker put up 36 last week.
They're not bad, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be a dogfight.
I'm going to go with the Rebels in this one. Now you don't have to pick this one. So I'm
definitely not going to pick against Hurley.
Okay.
So
right.
we're going to be in a dogfight. We got to improve on some things, or we turnovers for one, pass defense for one, because they can throw the ball. We're up, 24-14 last week and have a fumbled snap, and I think it snowballed from there. So we just got to take care of business and limit turnovers and play good defense, and we'll be fine.
All right. So both of us are picking Hurley.
Tom Walker's got a really good quarterback.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
He does.
All right. Up next, we got Twin Valley at Montcalm, West Virginia. Twin Valley. Low numbers, graduated a ton of seniors last year. A lot of inexperienced players. It's going to be tough.
7.
Going into
7 that's never
played.
No,
I thought you was getting ready to say you're 7 that hadn't played. You're already down 14 when you go into West Virginia.
That's if Coach Moore and my mom goes.
I'll try to stay. Last time I was there, I got ejected.
With my mother.
His brother did.
Guys, it's like this. We've got 7 that's never played football, but to say that they are athletic, they are good-looking kids. They've lifted weights before, but when you go out there for the first time and see, it's going to be tough. But you know what? They have worked their tails off for the 2 weeks we've been there. And they've stuck with it some. I'm proud of them, and I hope good things happen for them Friday.
I got to make stuff happen. You've got 2 or 3 that you can count on to move the chains.
I
think
we got one.
We're going to have trouble.
JJ Justice. He's a very good football player, and he played last year. And we have Matt Lester, Isaac Cooper that's played, and I'm talking. Pretty good football players, but
all 3 of them saw.
That's right. All of them was all district last year, so I'm excited to see what the newcomers have. I know they'll be nervous, but I'm very excited about getting back at it and see what happens.
What do you think? Who gets the win?
I don't know what to expect. You got what's the big back's name over there?
Lester.
I'll cancel my order.
I'll tell you what, all you got to do is give the ball to Lester. Go ahead, everybody else.
No,
I'm sorry, inflation has went up. Minimum wage has went up. Cost of food has went up.
Build back better. Build back better.
Build back better ain't getting better. So.
He is going to be a big part of it.
But Lester, I think Lester beats Montcalm.
Okay.
I was really impressed with him last year.
All right, let's run these last ones off pretty quick here. J.I. Burton at Chilhowie. Krieger.
Norton.
What?
What?
You caught me off guard when you said Norton. I said J.I. Burton. All right, now test it.
I'm going to go with J.I. Burton on this.
Jib. I'm going with Chihad.
Yeah, you would.
I will. I'm going to, boys. All right, so we're split on this one. Northwood at Rye Cove. I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, I'm going with the Cove.
I'm going with the
Cove.
Cove.
Their big upset on the Rebs last week.
I think so, man. I think they got a lot of energy. I think they're
B.I. failures. Gary Collier. We're Emory born and Emory bred, and when we die, we'll be Emory dead.
Who you got?
I got the War Eagles.
They're not the War Eagles anymore. They're just the Eagles.
I
can't do that.
I was corrected at a ball game for saying that one night. All right, PH at Lebanon. Ooh.
I'm saying ball control for PH and McFiery ball is going. McLovin, too much. Reese, one of the best quarterbacks in the area.
But he's a freshman.
But freshman they can get it done, but I don't think so. I'm going with Padgett and Reynolds.
I think Patrick Henry's going to have a hard time covering Lebanon. I think they throw the ball that well. I think it's going to be really hard for Patrick Henry to cover them. But I still think ball control wins the ball game.
Yeah,
I think
keep away. McLovin.
All right, boys, that's across the board. Expert panel says PH is a lock, but not a blowout or nothing.
Rural Retreat.
Eastmont at Rural Retreat.
Big. Big. Eastmont will not score.
I agree with that. I don't know about the scoring, but I think
they will not score.
Rural Retreat big.
They will not score.
Rural Retreat, even though they wouldn't let nobody into the.
We're Emory born and Emory bred, and when we die, we'll be Emory dead.
All right, folks. Last one on the docket here. This could be our game of the week. Twin Springs at Holston.
Twin Springs.
Why are you quiet?
All right, you want me to pick?
He picked Twin Springs.
Oh, okay, you taking Twin Springs. Who you got, Greg?
You said you were picking.
Oh, I will.
Pick.
No, he picked. It's at Holston. Holston is a defending Region D champ. I think we see the deck reshuffled. Twin Springs is going to start sliding into that spot.
Holston wins. Barely.
Big game here. All right, some other games real quick. We'll just mention Narrows at Bland. Narrows should take care of that one.
Galax.
GW and Port Chiswell. GW should take care of that one. Galax Giles. Galax Giles down. It's a Thursday night game, by the way. Gate City Radford. Radford should take care of that. Abingdon Christiansburg should be a good one.
Yeah,
Abingdon. Christiansburg.
I think Abingdon gets that one. Carroll County, Grayson County.
Carroll
County ought to win that game. And Princeton and Bluefield. All right, fellas. Anything else before we wrap up the show?
I do have something, and guys, we do a lot of nonsense on here and have a good time, but I want to try to be serious right now, and I want to give my condolences to one of the best coaches that I've been around. Jack Compton's wife passed away, and keep them in your prayers.
Yeah, Coach Compton, former Grundy coach, Graham alumni. His wife, Rennie Cottle, passed away the other day. So as Coach Krieger said, keep
one
that
of
family.
Coach Moore's went to school with her classmates.
Yeah. Very special person, and when you're in the coaching community, but not just that, when you see one of your coaches and people that you respect and look up to hurt the kind of way that he and his family's hurting right now, it's pretty hard to sit back and watch it without feeling something for them. So keep that family in your thoughts and prayers. And we greatly appreciate everybody watching the show. Anything from you, Coach? All right, until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Krieger.
Coach Teddy.
Reminding you, no matter where you are,